In the NFPA 99 codebook, in section 6.3.2.6.3.2, talking about line isolation monitors, it says, "The monitor shall be designed such that a green signal lamp, conspicuously visible in the area where the line isolation monitor is utilized, remains lighted when the system is adequately isolated from ground, and an adjacent red signal lamp and an audible warning signal, remote if desired, shall be energized when the total hazard current, consisting of possible resistive and capacitive leakage currents, from either isolated conductor to ground reaches a threshold value of 5.0 milliamps under normal line voltage conditions. The line isolation monitor shall not alarm for a fault hazard current of less than 3.7 milliamps."
So, we have a few conditions to meet when testing the line isolation monitor. 1. We must have a green light when the system is clear of any faults, and this light must be visible in our work area. 2. We need a red light and an audible signal when the total leakage of either leg is greater than 5.0 milliamps. 3. Lastly, we should not have a fault condition if the leakage is less than 3.7 milliamps.
There are 4 conditions under which the Sentry 5 will perform a self-test. 1. When it is powered up. 2. If the Sentry 5 loses power, then regains it again, the Sentry 5 will see this as a power-up condition. 3. You can manually initiate a self-test by simply pressing the Push to Test button. 4. Every 24 hours Sentry 5 will initiate an internal self-test but without the audible alarm, so people are not startled if they are in the middle of an operation.
The Sentry 5 will perform several internal tests, including the required audible and visual test. Again, the audible test is excluded during the 24-hour self-test. The Sentry 5 line isolation monitor is set to alarm at 4.8 milliamps instead of the 5.0 milliamps to ensure that we are within code. Therefore, the line isolation monitor will simulate an internal load until the line isolation monitor reaches 4.8 milliamps. Let's watch the Sentry 5 go through its routine when the Push to Test button is pressed.
So now you can perform the self-test yourself. However, if the line isolation monitor should be outside of the operating room and it would not be heard if it alarmed, then there should be a remote annunciator like this one within hearing range inside of the operating room. This is the SR1 remote annunciator, just one of the various remote annunciators distributed by isolated power specialists. When an alarm occurs, then the remote annunciator will change to this, with a hazard light lit and the audible alarm sounding. Just press the Push to Silence button and the audible alarm will be silenced. However, the yellow and red lights indicate that the system is still an alarm. Once the alarm is cleared from the system, then the remote annunciator will return to the safe mode automatically.